Good evening, everyone. We have a new premiership favourite with Geelong displacing Collingwood just 4 days out from the grand final. The Cats held their open training session this morning with thousands turning out, but the man most came to see was at his elusive best as Steve Johnson races the clock to be fit for Saturday.
The faithful are prepared and out in force down at Kardinia Park. The young and not so old cheering on their team's tilt at a title. And while the Cats soaked up the adulation and their first-year coach surveyed his new kingdom, one man was missing in action. Stephen Johnson still rehabbing his wrenched knee.
Oh, he's coming on pretty well, but I'll keep answering the question, but we're really not going to have anything definitive until at least Friday. But at the moment, we think he's a chance. He certainly hasn't been ruled out, but he's certainly not a definite starter.
50-50. We don't know. I don't think anyone knows, to be honest. We'll just have to wait over the next couple of days. There's no structural damage there. The photo showed no damage.
The Cats will leave it to as late as Saturday morning to decide. But at what percentage will Chris Scott risk taking an injured player into a grand final?
99. I could say I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but you're going to keep asking me. So 99's as good a number as any.
Speedster David Wojcinski slipped under the radar, also missing the session.
He's just got a little bit of a sore sort of Achilles calf. He'll be out there tomorrow night. There's no problem with him.
Running man Joel Corey left the track early, while midfielder Jimmy Bartell looked free of any rib concerns. But the coach has plenty of Cats poised for a chance at history.
Shannon Burns is a similar type in that he plays forward half. Cam Mooney's in pretty good shape. Darren Milburn's certainly in contention. And of the young guys, Taylor Hunt, Cameron Guthrie, Steve Motlop.
The question now looming large, will there be a fairy tale swan song for the veteran heroes, some of which soaked up each final moment on the track? Ian Cohen, 10 News.
Despite an injury-plagued month, All-Australian defender Ben Reid will play on Saturday, according to younger brother Sam. But the exact problem remains clouded with thigh, groin and hamstring issues, all rumoured to be troubling the Collingwood star.
While Ben Reid continued his around-the-clock rehab, joining his teammates for a dip in the bay, his younger brother Sam was soaking up the finals atmosphere in the city, and he couldn't avoid the obvious question.
Yeah, of course, there's a few rumours flying around. I got asked yesterday if he'd completely torn his abductor, so no, I think he's fine. I was staying at his house last night, and he's icing his quad.
Reid missed the qualifying final against the Eagles. The club says it was a groin injury. The All-Australian defender then suffered a setback against the Hawks. His brother says it's a thigh injury.
Bit of a strain in his quad, which he's had trouble with before, but I think if he can go out and play on the weekend and there was no risk of him doing any further damage.
Trained this morning, although we didn't do a great deal, he was able to run and join in the skills, so looks pretty positive.
But the news isn't as positive for Darren Jolly, the ruckman more unlikely than Reid because of a groin problem.
He was probably a lot more stationary than Ben was today, and he's probably still touch and go.
Cameron Wood remains on standby. Tyson Goldsack also hoping history repeats and he gains a last-minute call-up. While Leon Davis is preparing to play in his fourth grand final, he's yet to win one.
He's copped a lot of criticism on the field and also off the field in terms of his performances in finals, but the last two finals he's played in has been outstanding.
The president already fired up, launching a Collingwood kids book today, and he didn't need too much prodding to break into this.
Good old Collingwood forever. We know how to play the game. Go on louder, Toby.
Kelly Underwood, 10 News.
However reluctant he was at the time, Brownlow medalist Dane Swan acknowledges his mid-season high-altitude trip to Arizona proved the catalyst to last night's success. Swan polled 21 votes after returning from the US, and the 27-year-old says he'll have no trouble refocusing for Saturday's grand final.
He's the 9th Collingwood Brownlow medalist, and he can thank his win on the club's insistence he miss a game and head to Arizona for a mid-season training break.
Butters, who we regard as the best in the world in his field, just sort of said, trust me, in the latter half of the year, you'll be flying in where all the other midfielders are starting to tire.
But he wasn't convinced when he left for the US.
I hope it goes well, mate. It'll be a waste of time, won't it? So, hopefully it goes well.
When he returned, though, Swan was rejuvenated and starred, polling 21 votes in the following 11 games. He is now one of the great Collingwood players, but he was on the verge of being sacked until saved by Mick Malthouse.
Life's about second chances, and there was no I know the threat was there, it was real, but it was on safe ground.
Swan doesn't look quick, but he is. He doesn't look powerful, but is rarely caught. And he doesn't think he's a champion, but he sits very comfortably alongside recent Brownlow stars.
Very humbled and a little bit embarrassed to be in the company of, legends of the game.
He's also his own man.
I don't like tattoos, never have. I've got no say in it. I said, please, Dane, no more. No, okay, Mum. And then you hear in the media he's got another one. So he just tells me what he wants me to hear.
But the Swans are very proud of their son and are entrusted to look after his medals in their now bulging trophy cabinet.
Oh, yeah, they've got my premiership medal, so, if they want it, they can have it, mate. I'm not big on trophies and memorabilia and stuff, so if they want it, they can have it, yeah.
Rob Waters, 10 News.
It's also a big week for the grand final umpires who were officially unveiled this morning. Brett Rosebery, Sean Ryan and Chris Donlan had been given the nod, with Rosebery set to take the opening bounce.
And to do a grand final is a huge honour and privilege, and definitely it's something every umpire around the country, let alone just on the AFL panel, would aspire to do.
It's obviously not another game, it's a grand final, but for us the approach is exactly the same.
It will be Donlan's first grand final and the umpires will wear yellow on Saturday afternoon. Chelsea Roffey just missed out on becoming the first female to officiate in a grand final, named emergency goal umpire.